So I use like Google Docs, and as you can see, binder, you can plot it all out, and then you have different sections. You have your timeline, which I showed you, where you make a goal, find your inspiration, create your outline, and then write a rough draft. You can show your story, but don't actually tell it. I like that phrase because then you can, like, instead of saying they're nervous, you say their palms are sweating and all that. So I have my mom. She tells me stuff that I don't know. I use Google for a lot of stuff. You need to research how you're gonna write your fiction. Here's the thing about me, I love criticism and feedback, and whether it's good or bad, I like it all. So if I am writing something or making something, then I show it to my friends, or I have like my parents or my family read it, tell me what I did wrong, what I did right, what I could improve on. Staying on the subject. Now, I would say don't give up, and it sounds really cheesy, but it's true. Like, I have a friend that would start a story, and then by like 4 or 5 months later, or even 3, he would just start another story, and then he would but before he started another story, he would show me the story he's working on, and it was like a good idea, and then he'd only get like 3 chapters done, and then he'd stop, and then keep going with a different story. And it was just, you gotta keep working on one story until it's finished, or until you get a rough draft, and then have other people help. You can't just quit on it. Don't give up. That's cheesy, but don't give up. Being creative, it doesn't matter what you write about. You can write about anything. Just imagine anything. You could write a story about it. You could even write a picture book, just illustrate a bunch of pictures. I just like writing because you just get to do whatever you want with it. It's just like, usually when you do a project in school, then they limit you to, you write about this, and then that's it. You have to write a story about this. But then if you're writing your own story, then you can think about an idea, brainstorm that idea, and add to it, and then you have just big story that's really good. Brainstorm, because people come up with this one idea and they think it's so good, and then they write it, and then it's not as good as they thought it would be. Try to brainstorm, think about the complications of it. What would other people think of it? Would only you think it's good? You need to make something that's appealing to a certain type of people, and then sell it to that type of people, instead of just making a book that only you like and then selling it to everyone, or trying to sell it to everyone. There's this website called Wattpad that you would be able to write out a story and then post it to the public. Just anyone can read it, and then people can comment on it and all that. So if you don't want to be like a huge writer like Gordon Corman or all those, then you can just post them on Wattpad and see what other people think, and then maybe expand that. And when I was 7, I wrote a story, I wrote part of a story, a very short story, called The Mini Ninja. It was a very strange story. It was about a ninja named Deja Vu, and if you start when you're young, you'll probably like it more than when you're older.